How's business on your end?
It's there. It's going. Signed another client last week.
Nice one. How's business on your end?
It's it, oh cool. We have sound.
Hi guys. How's business on your end?
It's YouTube is so something's going on with the connect with Zoom and the connection to YouTube. Because when you stream now, the live chat doesn't come up right away, and then YouTube lies to you and essentially says, "Hey, you're not available, and you're not showing," which isn't the case at all. Like you are there, but you are streaming, but the dashboard pretends like you're not, which
Mhm.
is dumb. Dun, dun,
Essentially
dun.
says, hey,
Cool. No one's there. No one's on the live. I don't have anything to talk about this week. The supposedly there was an update over the weekend, supposedly, but there's always supposedly an update over, so kind of take that with a grain of salt. Um, I got a hold of X Rumors AI, their new beta. The interface looks exactly the same. So we'll see um, if there's any value in that tool and using it. I know there's value. Just trying to figure out, you know, how you want to implement it, etc. Um, and use it probably mainly for churn and burn stuff. I wouldn't point X Rumor at your own website unless you're living dangerously. But that AI version is out. Again, I've just installed it. I don't know what what is working and what isn't inside of it, and how the AI application actually took place. But we'll see how that goes from there, I guess. Once I get some chance to mess with it. I do have what the hell's going on? Conference coming up. I'm gonna be in Miami for a couple days. I'm gonna spend the weekend there, really. Probably. I don't. And then I was supposed to go to the SEO on the Beach conference and then go to the Seven Figure Agency conference back to back. I heard from a couple of people that have attended the Seven Figure Agency thing because they were advertising on Facebook. You know, you can come in for free and check it out and get to know the group and et cetera, et cetera. But I heard that once you get there, you kind of get okey doked and you get into the first day. But if you want to participate in the rest of it, then you have to sign up for their membership, which is according to the website, 3 grand a month. And I'm not paying 3 grand a month for anything unless it's hooked to advertising or to a like a really stupid good mastermind or something like that that would offer a lot of stuff. So and then having some exposure to seven figure mastermind, honestly, 3 grand a month's a bit much for me to toss that out there. So rather than going into the disappointment of going to Miami and getting okey doked and having that cost me, probably another grand for the hotel room and etc. I just gonna cut that part out of my trip. So I'm just doing the SEO at the beach. It's being held by Brock and Mike Merlino, Brock Misner, and I'm looking forward to that. I'll be closing out that conference with a roundup. So that'll be for me. It'll be fun, and hopefully people will get some interesting stuff out of it. I know they're doing some webinars, etc., to promote it. And doing good with sales, etc. So that'll be good. It is kind of a pain in the ass that it just came up out of nowhere. It happened to be a month before SEO spring training. Terry, Elizabeth, and I are busy promoting SEO spring training and working really hard to kind of fill the seats for that. And now people have this competing conference. But that said, it's kind of, you know, not everyone's going to go to the SEO the beach. Not everyone's going to go to the SEO spring training, and maybe March doesn't work out for you, but April does, or vice versa. So, um, we'll deal with it. Competition is good. Um, and I think it'll be a good time for everybody, regardless of the conference that you choose to go to. So, if you want to come out to one of them, I'll be looking forward to see you again. I'll be at SEO at the beach and SEO spring training. So, and I think those probably, maybe other than rock stars, I don't have any others on my schedule, which is kind of good because I can focus on growing the agency and doing some other stuff. So, looking forward to that. In SEO testing land, I have some cool ideas and things to test. Brock and Mike did their video or webinars last week and the week before. It was two good webinars. Not 100% new information that's coming out of them. But if you've never been exposed to them before, it was both of those webinars are pretty good. They said they weren't recording them, and they've stuck by that. So I think that's good. Um, to me, if you're going to use scarcity, then you better damn well mean scarcity. And, like SEO spring training, it's only 180 seats because that's the limit of the hotel and our conference room that we bought for that hotel. So um, there is no fake scarcity in that. The VIP seats, there's only so many because we can only get so many people into the box at the Diamondbacks game. Etc. So when you say you're not going to record it, mean it. And if people would do that more often, it would probably end the endless abounds of, did you record it? Did you record it? Because honestly, if people can't be asked to spend the time live when you say you're not recording it, then we're your customers anyway. Anyway, um, so Brock and Mike talked about the manipulated URL strings for maps. Like, again, if you've ever been exposed to those two, you kind of heard that song and dance before. Excuse me, messing with my camera since it's not, the AI is not working right now. And you have the manipulated URLs, and this is the first time that I've heard them actually talking about building backlinks to their stuff in a specific way. Brock has his local trifecta course, and in that course, he does talk about backlinks. And then Mike, to me, has always been blah blah blah. You're gonna get yourself some CTR, and I always reply with CTR doesn't work. So having both of them kind of on the backlinks side of it, and using things like the manipulated URLs and different URLs that are available to you already built into the system was pretty cool. Having a little bit of information in regards to the websites that they're using to create and make these manipulated URLs, or at least come up with them, is pretty cool. And then having um, a little bit of more insight into their link building tools that they're using, etc. That was pretty cool. Um, so that was good. Good precursor to the conference coming up this weekend or next weekend. SEO spring training is doing really, really good. We're, chugging right along. The Working with Dan Kurtz, who's going to be one of the speakers there. He's got his whole system for PPC, et cetera, and audiences and stuff. So I gave him a whole bunch of data, and he's going to be setting some stuff up to fire off some PPC stuff. And I think that's going to be very enlightening, and maybe he could bring some of that information to the conference in regards to audience targeting and the entire conversion funnel tracking thing that he's got going on. It's all real like big super nerd. It's not like how the typical brand new or um, baby beginner like me with PPC would be doing. It's really refined and tracking like almost to a user level with all that super nerd techno gidget stuff that he's got access to. So I think it's be hopefully enlightening to see that campaign running, and we can fill up SEO spring training. Right now we're doing okay in regards to sales. I think honestly the only two real methods that are working in case you ever want to do your a conference is our attendance on various podcasts, our own podcasts. I have SEO This Week. Terry's got a new one. He's just starting out. I think he had his first episode last week. So that'd be good for Terry and Elizabeth. I'll be on that today. That'll be at 3 p.m. Arizona time, Mountain Standard Time. If you want to come check us out. I don't know what we're talking about. Honestly, Terry's got a event set up. You can find that on my Facebook feed or Terry's, but I think hopefully it'd be pretty good. I mean, Terry's got it all planned out, etc. And I just haven't had time to hit him up today about it. Um, so I think that's it. What do you guys want to talk about? Yeah, there's Dan. Hello, Dan. The One Web Vlog. Hello. And no questions in the chat. That's cool. You guys are all good this week. Sweet. Show's over. No nothing to talk about. uh, what else? What else? What else? What else? All right. So I'm gonna give you a backlink idea, and if we don't have any questions by then we'll be done with it. Let me find something that I can show you guys. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, sweet. Let's see here. Share the screen. Okay, so a lot of us have tools, and you've heard me before talk about Cora Lite and Cora, etc. And a specific part of the Cora software set that Ted has out there is called the SEO volatility tool. And essentially, the concept of volatility is that when you're doing rank tracking and you're analyzing the results of your work, you have to take into account that Google varies your ranking position. So if you see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is pretty much locked in, and then this number 6 bounces between 6 and 9. So you can be getting a report saying you're number 6, and your clients or customers could be seeing that actually show up at 9. And that's essentially the easiest way to explain certain volatility. As you get down into the search results, you'll notice that this pattern here where they start varying even more: 17 to 33, 29 to 32, 30 to 34. So this here's a good one, 20 to 40. I mean, you could be making decisions thinking you're ranking at 20 and Google showing you here a lot at 37 to 40. Um, There's another one, 29 to 43. So these are all, this is good indicative of this. As you see, as you get lower, it gets worse, right? And this is bouncing around. So this is why I don't necessarily believe rank trackers. I mean, they're all inherently right and they're all inherently wrong because of the time of the day and when they check and the IP that they used, etc. And I recommend using SEO Power Suite Rank Tracker, and you have some little bit more control in that. But at the end of the day, that one seems to be um, good, especially for client reporting, because when SEO Power Suite Rank Tracker sets up, and you specifically say, search in Beverly Hills because Beverly Hills is here, and this Beverly Hills client's going to see that, and what rank tracker says is typically what where it's ranking. Now that's obviously not accounting for volatility, but you can also bring this up to your clients if you want to. One cool feature about this thing is you can actually have a backlink, and that you can use these for reporting. You can use these for backlink creation, etc. And all you really have to do is download and create this report and then set it up how you want it. So in my case, what I like to do with these is down in here in this big ass white space that Ted's got for some reason. I like to drop in a footer. You put in your footer link. Do not use exact match keywords. Use your brand inside of the footer. Copyright notice is the best for that, or published by, or data collected by, and then your brand with the anchor. Again, do not put exact match on here because it will get flagged eventually, especially after you get enough of these and then it'll get unnatural anchor text, and you'll potentially you could draw the wrath of a manual review team. Assuming that Google's even using the stupid manual review teams anymore, my guess is it's a tattletale system now, where if Charles wanted to rat me out for using this for link building, you can take this video and show it to him, and then somebody at Google, assuming Charles cries enough, can will bitch. So you have this, and typically what I like to do when I'm using these is just use the URL here. You find the URL, you drop it to your um, Dreamweaver or whatever, just like this, and then you can go ahead and edit that to link to you. You got to mess around and find it and all this madness and code that Ted's got going on in here. But once you find it, it's actually fairly easy to add a link to it. So you have the footer link, and then you have a URL link, nice and clean to your website. An example of when one of these is showing. Let me see if I can find one. That's not showing. I don't know how long I have. Try to find the right an example. There's one. This one's showing, right? So makes it a little bit easier, and you just do a control F for number 43, and you can drop your backlink in there. So that's where this comes in regards to your reporting. Let me close all this mess that I had to open up. So you can drop these onto, say you have 25 domains or whatever that you use for your PBNs and stuff. You drop these on, typically you can, if you're just doing one, drop it onto a domain. You have this other thing right here. It's actually this. I opened it up, and all these search results are in here. I honestly don't like using this. Typically strip this link out of here. I mean, I don't see the value of this unless you're gonna position that to a client or something, because you're using, again, if you're using this for reporting, and they can, and you can say, look, here's proof it was there, here's when it found it, and here's the search string, and etc. But I have not found a client yet that gives two F's about this. They're just gonna open up their computer and search in Google for it. Um, so but I mean, if you want to do it, you could put it on there. The downside is, well, this is automatically gets rid of the idea that their links are orphans because these two link to each other, which is good. You don't have to mess with too much interlinking stuff. Ted used to have a working piece of software inside of Cora Lite that could take these reports and interlink them and have an index file as well. For whatever reason, that's, I'm not even going to go there anymore. I'm over it at this point. But you can create a Python script and interconnect these if you want to as well, and build a nice, build out your PBNs. You're making data sites is what you're doing. And you have all this data and information, this historic data of a set point of time. Think like the archive.org. And you can build this stuff out. So you can use the volatility tool inside of Quora to do that. And I show this to you because you should be doing that with all of your software. So if you have a SEMrush, Ahrefs, um, Phrase, anything that exports in HTML, it's creating content for you to use for your link building. And you just think about how you want to leverage that said content to build your links, and then you'll be off to the races, and you can actually save a lot of money because you're using, I don't know, this cloud size, for example, or you're doing some embed stuff, or you have some PBNs, or et cetera, et cetera. You can use all those tools to create these HTML outputs and put that stuff inside of your link building and your promotion. It is also really good for reporting. So you have these websites, and you just, like a reporting website, you make one for every client if you want to, and throw it up on this domain. And as you're doing your reporting to your client, you're also doing backlinking to them. And if you have your agency inside of the footer, you're doing backlinking to your agency at the same time as well. I mean, all this stuff is tools that SEMrush, Ahrefs, Google, it's all stuff that people can find anyway. So you're not outing their industry. There hasn't been a unique idea in the world in quite some time with the advent of the internet. We can all just, be unoriginal and steal from each other. so, you're not exposing that. If you're stupid worried about people finding these, turn Ahrefs on, that the robot blockers on, so that your competition, make it a little bit harder for your competition to find these. But inevitably, you're going to miss a tool, or a robot, and someone's going to find them. But it's at the end, so who cares, right? So turn these into PBNs, and then also make them reporting apparatuses for you, so you can just, you do, I don't know, say you you have 5 to 10 primary keywords that you want to rank a client for. Every week you go in and run these reports and put them up on your PBN, or your reporting domain, and then interlink them to the new ones and the old ones, and send the URLs to your clients, index them, and now you've built backlinks and done reporting, and um, got an extra monetization value out of the software you're paying for. So you got advertising, you've got reporting, and you got link building all in one. So that'd be really good. Um, so hopefully you guys use that. Again, think about it with all your tools. All right. So I'm gonna look at questions here. This would be good if I get to end early. Rat. Rat. Right, Charles. All right, Eric Brinkman, setting up SEO Neo this week. Would you like to go to the VPS route to have VAs access? Any advice? Any notes on working strategy to avoid this? What things to avoid be good? In regards to the VAs and the the VPS, if you have VAs doing that stuff, that makes total sense to do it. There's not a whole lot of damage that you can do with Neo, like unless you just go absolutely full retard and point everything at your money site. Um, you're going to be okay with Neo, in my opinion, because of the quality of the sites that are in there. But yeah, if you have once you get past the setup of connecting all your APIs and doing all that stuff and associating it with that VPS, once you get past that step, having it access on a VPS for your SLPs and for your VAs is totally smart. My particular copy is on my own computer here. Um, It's a little bit of fault for me because I've done videos and showed my staff how to do it. And then every time I reassign them a task to do it, I get asked, "Where's the video to learn how to do it?" And I'm like, fucking really? It's not that hard. That's a patience thing. So if you have the patience and you can create the video sets so that they do it the way you want them to do it, then yeah, I'd say put it on a VPS. If it's just going to be something that you run, like I put it on my Mac Studio, uh, and I have it on. I have another license, so I can put it on a VPS and teach my staff. But I also have GSA and XRIMR running on that machine, so I don't really let them get onto it all that often. I had two machines, one for them and one for me at one point, but honestly, it was $300 expense to have that on there, and I really didn't have them using it all that much. We're focusing a lot more on content creation and geo articles, etc. So I just shut that off. Maybe I'll bring it back up. Um, Charles, give me a review of SEO Nitro for backlinking. All right. So full disclosure, I am a partner with Dory Friend in SEOintel.com. We share VAs or essentially staff in that regard, and that staff also works on SEO Nitro. I am a customer of Nitro's, not an owner of Nitro. And I have beginning to see a lack of performance coming from Nitro. I don't know if it's the domain selection, it's the way I'm using it, or what, but I've started to see a decline. Like even for easy terms, 10, 20 links was just not doing it for me. So because we share teams, I have access to the sites, etc., that no one else does. When I did a review on my own of some of those domains, etc., brought up my concerns to Dory, and she implemented some fixes and stuff, and they hopefully you guys will start seeing that as representative across your own usage for that system. I am probably going to use that for tier twos and for the foreseeable future. Again, if I'm using them for tier ones and it's not moving the needle, then do I really want to use them for tier ones, right? Or if I use it for tier twos or for just increasing the referring domains, then that's total acceptable usage of it. I did have an account where I was paying for the $1,000 a month plan, and I downgraded that to 500. If and when I notice that they become stupid good tier ones again, like they were originally, then I'll probably go back to that. But I have so many credits right now, I don't see that happening anytime soon. Like I got 6,000 credits, 7,000 credits built up in that system right now. My team, I'm getting ready to do a video for them, as a matter of fact, today, and they will be going in and implementing a test. Again, stupid easy keywords. So there's assuming that there's any value to Nitro whatsoever right now, that should move the needle and increase the rankings of these pages. If that doesn't happen, then we'll have to look at alternative resources. I've already got a couple in place, but the price per link is not as good as Nitro is. So what I'll probably end up doing is going with the guest post concept of link building as tier ones, and then use Nitro to tier two and do all my link boosting and etc. But we'll see. That's my current stance on Nitro. What else? All right. Hey, good morning, Renee. Which deficit strategy do you use in Cora? Which one do you like get the best results? I use if you guys don't know, Charles is talking about there's essentially the deficit strategy is the difference between or how much you should be doing to maximize your statistical Jesus, how do I explain this? They maximize the amount of optimization you do to meet or exceed what your competition is doing. And when you do maximum, it looks at like this is the most that this number beats what everybody else is doing, like out of the park. And then you have two, which is 2%, essentially two over, and then there's 1.5. And that whole deficit strategy really came out of a conversation. And this is like ancient history kind of conversation where Kyle Roof was looking at how far do you really need to go to beat your competition in the search results. And his argument was maximum was essentially how you guys hear me constantly refer to as full retard. And then 1.5 was like, I'm beating them. I'm just not getting so crazy out of the board that I look like an outlier. And I have used or tested and 1.5, I tested 2, and I tested maximum. And for me, 1.5 gives me the data that I need to meet or and more importantly, beat my competition without going full retard. And it also makes it a whole lot easier to look through that and know that, let's say I have a Yelp and a Home Advisor and the super pages inside of a local search result. I can spot that easier and I get more realistic recommendations out of the software. So I personally use the deficit strategy of 1.5. Maximum is just too much, in my opinion. I mean, obviously, if you don't care, it's a churn and burn site, and you're using a whole bunch of different methods to implement all that stuff, then go maximum. I mean, if you believe the idea of there's no such thing as over optimization, which I think that Google has figured out a way to say, you're just too perfect for us. Right? I think it's there. I can't prove it. There's no way to prove it, but I honestly think that Google's figured out a little bit in regards to how to program that algorithm to identify us that are, relying on content optimization tools and etc. So, again, I can't prove it, at least not yet. I have a test running with 25 unique domains, 25 different markets, using a template that is optimized to the gills, and it actually is lowering the rankings versus generic content that was on it. So, is that because it's optimized to the gills, or is that because it's a bouncing around? I mean, it's hard to definitively say that and then tell you to not or do X, Y, and Z responsibly. So I just say that that's what it's doing right now. Optimized really well, written really well, and yet still dropping in rankings. What's up with that? Right. And I think it's because I've optimized it too well compared to what everyone else is using. That's what I think. But we'll see. Let's see. Any more questions? No more questions. All right. All right, YouTubes. No more questions. Half an hour. That was a good talk. Hope you guys have a good week. Again, SEO at the beach this weekend. If you're coming next weekend, I'm sorry. I'll see you there. SEO Spring Training 2024 in April. Selling tickets. They're still on sale, so go check those out. And I will see you all next week.